Hello, I'm Tim. Today we're going to go over the new product, the BL240-16 Multibeam Echo Sounder from Bathylogger. Right here it is in front of me. It will come with the Pelican case to house everything. There is the top side box, the battery, the boat mount and pole kit would go inside there. The Dell Tough tablet. It runs a HydroMagic with a special multi-beam module. Up top we have a heading system. As you can see, two different receivers spaced apart. It'll calculate 0.3 of 1 degree heading changes. Anytime you run a multi-beam, anything spread out in a fan array, you have to calculate changes in yaw to compensate in the software. So this system will do that. The rear is also used for your position. It is RTK enabled, so you can give it your entropy corrections, get down to a few centimeters, X, Y, and Z. Down below is the transducer housing. We have the transducer mounting plate on top. The transducer's inside this fairing. This fairing is to protect it and to, make it streamline through the water. Inside the head is a 9-axis IMU, so it can handle a little bit of choppy water. If you were to get into some more swelling or anything more than that, you might want to update to a higher end IMU. Some main specs on this system are, as I said, it's 240 kilohertz. It is 16 beams. They're spread out in a fan array of 80 degrees. So as you're moving along, the beams will be reaching out to either side. And so the deeper you are, the further it will reach out. They'll ping at 20 soundings per second. This system would get 20 to 30 times more data than a traditional single beam. So, why would you use this over the single beam? Just a higher data saturation. If you just want more data, full coverage of the whole body of water you're doing. Some dredgers, pre and post dredge might want that. Scouring surveys, you might want that full coverage. When you do single beam is still going to be vastly the go-to setup for most people. I've seen guys get hundreds of thousands of points in just a few acres of survey. If you do it tight grid lines, going nice and slow, and you spend some time, you can get some really good data. This will just do it at a faster rate and give you full coverage. So I still anticipate my survey buyers with Trimble, Leica, Topcon, Carlson, it's just easy integration with the regular single beam. They already have the GPS and the software, and it's they're up and going pretty fast. So the single beam will still be the most popular item. Some people ask, what's the difference between this and a true multi-beam? Okay, a true multi-beam is, the specs on those traditionally are 512 beams, a 120 degree swath fan array, 100 hertz outputting, so as you can see, it's a whole other animal than this would be. I would say like there'd be the single beam, there'd be this model, and then a multi-beam. That's how it would go. So if, you aren't going to go up to a full multi-beam. So why wouldn't everyone just get a multi-beam? Well, there are cons to that. The main ones are the cost. They start for just a traditional multi-beam anywhere from 120,000, 350,000. You might find the head for 40,000, but when you add everything all in with the software, the sound velocity profilers, the training, the mount, and everything, you're at $120,000. What else? The training, and it takes a on hand 3 to 5 days of training to learn it. And I've seen where companies might get a multi-beam and train a guy at their office, and then down the road he leaves and then it's sitting there. So now they need to either start the process over and retrain, whereas something like this can be learned on hand, by anybody there. Also, the craft. You can grab this mount and attach it to any John boat, any small craft, and be up and going pretty quick. Whereas a multi-beam usually requires, it's usually mated to a boat with a special mount made for that boat, and that's the way those go. Some people ask, is this like a dual frequency? No, a dual frequency is still a single beam, single frequency. It just has two different frequency echo sounders in one housing. So, but it's still one point at a time on the survey line, and you have to go on down the line, and you'll still get data only on the survey lines. But it's made for having an all-in-one that can go shallow and deep. Resolution, people say, oh, is this going to be like, am I going to be able to, see a sunken pipe or a car, or, be able to locate, something down there? No, this is not going to be used for that. Typically, even a multi-beam with that high a saturation, if you have enough water depth, you lose the resolution. So it's not usually the tool for the job. Even though we're going to saturate the area with data points, if you covered over a car, it would look like there would be an odd lump there, but it's not going to be like super high resolution. The tool for that would be a side scan sonar for location and inspection, visual. That's the tool usually for that. So, really excited. This product should be very interesting. I think it's going to work out good for a lot of people.